Hello everyone, it's Mimi again from Mimi's Worms. Today we are going to start our first true batch of pre-compost, and I got this idea from Rockin' Worms, Jane over at Rockin' Worms. But I had also years ago saw Stacy T in the T Zone that was also doing this pre-compost. Back when I first seen it, I just really thought it was too much trouble for a large operation, but seeing the numbers with the cocoons, we've decided we're gonna start doing this. The thing is, we've got to do this on a very large scale, so we're gonna try this. You're gonna get to see the results, whether it works or it don't work. So without further ado, let's give it a try. So I'm starting out with 5 gallons of shredded cardboard or pulverized cardboard. This is with our new shredder. And 5 gallons of coffee grounds. And what we're going to do is we're going to work this in together. And then we're going to add some vegetable juice. And I hope I have enough of that. If I don't, then I may just work in some vegetable scraps. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start small batches and then pour it over into my large trough over here on the other side. So I want to get this kind of mixed first because there's a lot of dust with this cardboard. Might should have even wore a mask, honestly. I was going to put on some gloves, but the gloves I have just kept ripping because it's very humid today, so they were just sticking to my hands. So I'll just give them a good wash when I get done. I'm used to having my hands in a lot of mooky stuff, so it doesn't bother me, but you're more than welcome to put on gloves yourself if you choose to. We just want to get this coffee worked in to this as best we can, break up any big clumps, and then we'll start adding the water. Now, one thing that Jane taught us is on your first layer that's going in your bin to start with, is you want it to be a little bit on the drier side, because as you get to the top and you add more moisture, that moisture is going to seep down to the bottom layer, and that'll allow you to have room to soak up the juices. So what we're doing this for is so that we can get the microbes started, and by pre-composting, it takes all the big chunks away, and so the worms can just use their energy to produce cocoons instead of trying to break up material. This is just vegetable juice slurry. I had some vegetables that I was breaking down, and I just poured the juice off of them, and that adds some more nitrogen to the mix. That's about 3 gallons in this bucket, so I'm not sure how much we're going to need, but doesn't smell good. If you're doing it at home, you can pour it in jugs when you have it, like when you pour the juice off, or the rice water or canned vegetables that you may be cooking at home. You can put them in gallon jugs, put them in a refrigerator. I just don't have that much room here to do that, so I'm going to pour all this in there. If I need to, I can always add more cardboard. Tabitha's over here holding her nose. She's pregnant, so her senses are very high, and everything that has any distinctive smell at all, she gets sick. She's always had a strong sense of smell anyway. This is just intensified when she became pregnant, so she kind of drives me crazy with it.
Stein. Just playing. Smells good. It smells like fruits.
Make me have to edit my video. Just want to make sure that all that cardboard gets some moisture on it. You don't want to have dry pockets in your compost. This table's almost too tall for me. Tabitha's my camera lady today. See how good she can do with videotaping. Okay. Now, one way you can tell if it's wet enough is when you squeeze it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it still falls apart easily. Now, this does have quite a bit of water in it, so I'm going to add a little bit more cardboard. Soak up a little bit more of those juices because I think I overdid it for the first layer, but that's okay. Just add some more cardboard. Gonna want to get this up to about anywhere from 113 to 120. We don't want to get it above 133 because it'll go into a thermophilic composting, and we want to be in the mesophilic range. So we're gonna try to, I'm gonna pour this in here. And then we're gonna do another batch. Let's get that spread out. And added some more cardboard. About 5 more gallons of cardboard. Oh, my coffee. Oh. 5 more gallons of coffee. We're doing pretty well 50-50 on our ratios to carbon to nitrogen. Carbon has about 563 to 1, and coffee, oh, I can't remember, it's like, I don't know, it's low. So we're gonna try to get this heating up. If your coffee has some mold on it, that's fine. That's just bacteria, which is what we're trying to grow anyway. Y'all, it is so hot down here in Georgia. I don't know if you can see me sweating, but it is pouring off my face. Our humidity today is so horrible. But it's supposed to cool off tomorrow. And We're supposed to get some thunderstorms tonight. It's going to help cool things down. So, kind of excited about it, really. Just trying to get as much coffee. Oh my goodness. Oh, y'all. I'll be able to see you do it. Sweat running in my eyes. Y'all, I have to stop a minute and get something to get the sweat out of my eyes. And because I don't have any more of that vegetable water, I'm gonna just use some water. This water's been sitting. We have well water, so we don't really have to let our water sit. But I have been told that if you use warm water, the fibers expand in your material and helps the water absorb faster. So this has been sitting out. It's room temperature. But if you have city water, you would really want to let it sit, dissipate the chlorine. Start. That wasn't near enough water, I don't think. We'll just start here. Get this all moist as I can. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot in that. One thing about cardboard is it soaks up a lot of water. And even if you're not making pre-compost, but you're using cardboard, it is a good idea to wet it, let it sit for a while, and let it really soak up all the water. It holds a lot of water, so therefore you can really get your bedding wet and not have it standing. And that is one thing that I found when it comes to breeding or raising worms, is you really need it a lot wetter than a wrung out sponge. That wrung out sponge is more so for when you're doing vermicomposting, where you're doing it for castings, not for breeding or raising of worms. But when you're doing it for breeding and raising worms, you want it about 80% moist. I wet it as much as possible without it becoming standing. And that's one of the reasons why it's really good to use cardboard. So this batch is going to have a mixture of the shredded cardboard and the pulverized cardboard. So I'm anxious to see how the pulverized cardboard is going to do with the worms. So, okay. Again, I'm just going to do a little bit of a moisture test, and you can see it sticking together, but it crumbles easily. So I think we are good. We don't want it too wet because, like I said, a lot of that's going to move down into this bottom layer anyway. So I think we can do one more there. So, get this. And I need some coffee paws that time. Alright, so we've poured another 5 gallons of cardboard and another 5 gallons of coffee. And we're going to get this mixed up. This is the pulverized cardboard. And there's a little bit of shred in there too. So, really anxious to see how this pulverized cardboard is going to do.
I think we're gonna love it.
I think they are too. Okay. It just makes it easier to mix this when it's dry, and then add your water to get that kind of mixed up. Because once you start adding the water, it's a little bit tougher to get it really mixed. And we may have to do some adjustments. Right now we're trying 50-50 to see how this is gonna do for us. Add some water here. I've got some food scraps here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and have them here as well. Maybe not all of them. A couple pounds maybe. Whoop. Well, maybe a little more than that. That's about 3 pounds. That has already started breaking down, and I think it's going to help give us some heat. It's jump started. Main thing is just getting all of this cardboard good and wet, and make sure that each bit has some moisture on it. So we're going to have to add some more water. See, a lot of dry spots still. As we progress with this, we may be able to give you some more precise amounts of water and stuff like that to see if we can really zone in on how much you need of what, for those of you that really needs measurements. Still seeing a lot of dry in here. Since this is the top layer, we really wouldn't have to be doing more. It's going to dry out quicker than the middle or the bottom. So, and this is going to be the third batch. I think that'll fill it up to where we need to be. And then put our top on it and show you how we do that. Yeah, if you hadn't checked out Stacy T's videos, Organizing Annie also has one, and she gives you exact measurements. Both of those are on small scale, but it's doable. And then Jane does it on a more larger scale, but you know, hobby level. But she's got quite a bit going on. She does a fantastic job. Hers is Jane over at Rockin' Worms. Very nice lady. Very helpful. And then Nana's Worms, she really opened my eyes up a lot here recently. She did some videos on worm science. If you haven't saw that, you should go over and check that out as well, because I was floored on pH. Because pH in a worm bin, according to studies, should be at 5, but 4.5 would kill the worms. So it's a fine line. So I think most people kind of like to stay around that 6 and 7 mark. But if you can get it to a stable 5, that's where you really want to be. I'm going to add just a little bit more water, since this is going to be my top layer. Some of that cardboard just is not good length. Even some of the coffee grounds feel a little dry. Now what we want to see in this is the microbes starting to form through this mesophilic process. So we're going to try to get it up to around 120. I'm not sure if the bin that I have for this is going to be large enough to get it that high, but that's what we're going to shoot for. I just don't want to get it over 133. Alright, I think that's good enough. And so we're going to put this in.
Got it?
I probably could do some more, but to be honest with y'all, it is so hot. I think I'm gonna call it right there for today. The next thing you want to do is you want to put a screen on it. This is just screen that you would buy for like your porch. And I cut it twice the size. I'll show you in a minute why.
Here. Back your face.
Pull it out here some more. Right around it. Want this in the middle. I want it about even on both sides. Okay, good enough. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill this up with shredded cardboard. And what that's going to do is that's going to, one, help hold the heat in. Two, gonna help keep any kind of critters out. And us being in South Georgia, the humidity that we have, black soldier flies love our material. So, all right, you're gonna have to get some more. Okay, so what we did is we put a pretty thick layer of cardboard on the top here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're just gonna fold it over, we're gonna make like a burrito.
Got it?
Last thing we're going to do, just want to make sure this is good and around your edges, because you want to keep any flies from being able to get in and bring larvae with it. Let me grab a piece of cardboard. Cardboard in here. One more piece. I want that to cover it good. And then we can just put something heavy or just something on it. Keep that heat in. Okay, that has completed the setup. We'll come back in 24 to 48 hours, see if it has started heating up yet, and we will bring you back for the ride on that one. Till then, y'all have a wonderful day.